In Google Classroom, I can save notes on your Google Classroom. This is one of my students' Google Classroom in my first period multimedia design class. I'm going to scroll down to the assignment where there have been some issues, and that is the Beside Myself project we've been working on. I'm going to open it here. Notice that it says returned here. That means I looked at it and I probably left notes and possibly even graded it. So I'm going to click open. Down at the bottom, here's the file name that the student named correctly. Down here it says you need to redo and resubmit this using the layer mask procedure as shown on the video and every demo I've done. The direction for these past 3 assignments is to erase from the layer mask, not from the photo itself. I've taken the liberty of downloading this file already and renaming it. I renamed it the same way that it's named, except in this case so that I could tell it apart. I renamed it goodexample.psd. When I first look at your assignments, when I open them up, I take a quick look at it, and this one appears to be mostly right. Everything seems to be okay in this one. There's a little bit missing here from the side of her face, or the side of her head, and also the side of the head here. A lot of that is to be expected, but I want to show you some of the other pitfalls, some of the other things that need to be fixed. So the first thing I do is I look at it and see that everything's where it's supposed to be. I can see that there's 3 of this person and 3 of this person. Some of you only have 2 because you didn't do your second layer mask yet. So I'm going to click on this and actually drag it into the trash can. And then I'm going to turn these 2 layers off. The first thing I noticed is this has been erased from on the photo and not on the layer mask. I'm going to go to my window and back this up so that you can see it again. So this time I'm going to turn these 2 layers off. This mostly looks correct on the mask, except again, as I said, right here and right here. If this was done correctly and it had been erased from the layer mask, I could just go on the layer mask, select the eraser, reverse these 2, make my eraser smaller, and then bring this back from the layer mask, except that it's not there. And here's how I can tell that it's not there. That's the first way. The second way is I just delete this layer mask again. You can see that this was erased from the photo. It's not the end of the world though. I'm going to bring the layer mask back so that I have this like this. And I've already taken the liberty of downloading this, but this is the original file right here. I've already downloaded it. It says beside myself _a student -practice.pnumber.psd. I've downloaded the file. So to fix this one, to bring all that stuff back, I'm going to open up this one and select everything on the page by doing select all. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to click below the active layer and paste this other layer. Except it pasted the wrong one. This happens a lot, so it's a good thing I made that mistake so that I can show you what I did wrong. I'm going to click back on this one. I was trying to copy this one, but I had this one selected. So let me click here, edit, copy, go back to here, edit, paste. Now I have the correct one. Rather than having to erase all of this again, I can simply click on the layer mask and drag it into this layer. Then for all of this stuff, I can just delete this by dragging it into the trash can. And when I go back here, you can still see that there's some errors in here, but that's okay because we can now, because we have the photo to bring it back from, Again, with black in front, I have the eraser selected, layer mask. Now I can bring this back here, anything that's missing from here, and also anything that's missing from here. Except that it appears that this one also has been not correctly deleted, so let's find out. Drag this into the trash. Nope, it's all still there. Okay. So the problem there was this was done a little bit differently than I normally do it. Part of this was erased from this layer mask. So I have to bring this shirt back. And I'm not sure why it's erasing from here, unless they did it reversed somehow. So this is a little tricky, but you have to make sure that all of Vanessa's shirt is showing. And then reverse this out, zoom in, Command plus. Might want to make your eraser a little smaller by hitting the left bracket tool and then bring her hair back here. And it does take a little bit of playing with to make it look just right, but if you zoom in, you can actually use some pretty small brushes to get details like this over here. I'm going to do Command plus again, make my brush even smaller, tapping the bracket tool next to the letter P on the keypad, reversing this to erase now. So oftentimes you have to go back and forth many times in order to make this work. But again, here's a part where having the layer mask enables you to bring things back that were deleted before. I'm going to turn this layer off because I'm not sure why that's missing from here. So using those tools enables me to very quickly go back and forth and fix things that have been deleted. And again, using the layer mask here. One other thing you want to pay close attention to as you're going back and fixing all this stuff there's a piece here that's deleted from here. So sometimes you have to make your eraser really small in order to make that work. I'm not sure what button was pushed so that this is both being erased from the layer mask on the top. It should be this one here. So I'm going to do Command 0. Open this layer or turn on this layer here. So turning on and off layers allows me to very quickly see what's been done correctly and what has not. And again, all I do is I turn off these two layers, remove the layer mask by dragging it into the trash can, and I can see that this is all done correctly because the whole picture is there. One other thing, please do this. I've said this dozens of times. Save as. Beside myself, I'm going to put a student _ P number. Your first initial and your last name go here. Please stop turning these in with a student on it. That is incorrect, and I'll mark it off every single time. And don't leave this here either. Make sure it's period 1, period 6, or period 7. save it to your desktop, and then upload it to Google Classroom. A few other things about this assignment. I'm going to hold the Command key down and tap the Tab key to go back to Google Classroom. Before you resubmit your assignment, again, it's been returned here, delete the old one by clicking this before uploading the new one. Again, making sure that it is named correctly. This is actually incorrect. It should say beside myself underscore first initial last name underscore P1. So this is wrong also. This shows a score of 18 out of 30. That's actually a D because of all of the mistakes that were made on this particular assignment. So check to see what notes I've put on the bottom of your file. Download the one you've been working on and delete it from Google Classroom, and then rename it the same thing it's supposed to be and upload it again back up to Google Classroom when you're finished.